Hey, good evening. Headed to the studio. Got some interesting laser engraving work going on there uh, in commemoration of Kanye West's Donda record. My kids convinced me it'd be very appropriate to do a laser engraving of him. So this is the studio, folks. I don't know if you've ever seen the inside of the spot. And this is the OMTECH 60 watt CO2 laser, and it's hard at work working on Kanye West's face. And this is the control panel. That little red cross is marking the movements of the laser head. Okay. And this is the Lightburn software on the computer, and this is the source image to the left, and the window in the middle, this is the actual laser controls, and it has a pause, stop, play function just like any other MP4 player. And over here we have, see if I can get this a little bit clearer, this is the shape properties. This is where you are able to set up the each layer, and these controls are pretty flexible, and it's based on the quality of your image and the resolution that you're working with. So this is a very simple one layer laser burn. Let's see if I can get a better image. Okay, great. And this is the cuts layers palette. And so this laser is moving at 150 millimeters a second with 25% power. And so this one layer is a raster layer, so it should give us a pretty good amount of clarity. Now, I chose the speed of 150 millimeters a second because I have a lot of areas of contrast that I want to bring out and make darker. And so that particular speed is slow enough to allow the laser to burn at such a pace that it not only creates a slight indentation, it gives you the impression of black. So if we see you see these small blocks at the bottom of the screen, each one of these blocks represents a potential layer. And the way that you would isolate the layers would be to use this tool right here, and you would simply toggle and highlight and click. I don't want to do that right now because it's in the middle of a job, but I will have a video where we set up an entire image using multiple layers. But for this first video, just wanted to do one layer. And so let's take a look and see what our progress is. This is on Baltic Birch Plywood. All right, just 1 second. Yeah, so laser engraving is a pretty interesting activity for me because I like to do a lot of wood burning where I transfer images to a piece of wood, a piece of plywood, and I use a wood burner to incise and etch in the shapes. But I can actually combine that with the laser work, and it cuts a lot of time. And now the laser is going to give you a level of perfection that sort of pulls it away from the fine art category, and going back with the wood burner brings it back into the area of creativity and individualized mark making. Let's take a look at the progress. Yeah, it's going nice and smooth. We probably have another 15 minutes left, but we do see a great deal of contrast with the black areas and the areas that are to be white. That's one of the main reasons I chose the Baltic Birch Plywood, is because it's a relatively whiter type of wood, and the contrast is going to show really well. Now, 'What you have behind us behind all of this. This is an air blower, and this pulls that smoky air out of the laser and out of a window. And this is our water chiller, industrial water chiller. This keeps the water that cools the laser at right around 20 degrees Celsius, which is roughly 70 degrees. And so, you know, it gets really hot back here. This is a warehouse with no AC, so it can be over 120 degrees back here. And this ensures that the laser never gets hotter than 70 degrees, regardless of how hot it gets in this room or how cold it gets. It's going to ensure that the laser maintains a stable environment inside of the laser tube. I also keep a dehumidifier behind the laser. You know, it gets really hot and humid back here, and you want to keep the humidity levels down so you're less likely to build up condensation inside of the laser tube, which can damage it. All right, we're near the end of this particular run of the Kanye West study. This has been going on for about 45 minutes, and I think we're near the last final passes. And I think it's a really, really good image. I'm so excited to pull it out from the workspace. Yeah. I think this is almost it. Yeah, we probably have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 15 more passes, and then the composition will be done. All right, we're all done. So I'm going to lift up the amber chamber, and we're going to take a closer look at what we have here. I think this is a really good image. There is a little bit of banding on here, but it isn't taken away from the overall. What I really like the most about it is how the wood grain is so preserved and integrated into the form. And this is only with one layer, so we see a little horizontal banding there. I'm gonna have to go back and check and see what may have went wrong. All right, wow, that wood grain is, ooh, oh, it's so well integrated into the form. Got a little bit of char there. That all comes off. All right, now let's take a look at the Photoshop file where we originally got this from. And this came off of Google, and it was a low resolution image, and you know, we simply stepped it up, and it's not the best image as a Photoshop file, but it translates really well to a wood engraving, a laser engraving. And so this piece is in a good enough spot for me to come back with my wood engraver and do some highlights and touches that totally make this my image. Now, in the future, this is gonna also have a dual purpose as the newsroom. I will be doing some news segments in the coming days, so be on the lookout for that as well. Anyway, this is the Kanye West CO2 60 watt laser burn. And this is my second edition of my blog. Please keep tuning in every Thursday night. Peace.